Before I start this video, I'd just like to say this is ever so slightly sponsored, so I just thought I should announce that before I say anything else. On with the video. So, if you've been watching my channel for a long time, you may remember a couple of years ago when I was still in college, I made a video on this. This is the DXA Micro Pro. It's by a company called V-Clik, and they sent me one to review essentially. What it is an audio adapter for your camera, so you can plug in an XLR adapter into the side, and then you can plug a 3.5mm jack that comes out the other side into your camera. So essentially for small cameras like my A7 III that are DSLRs or mirrorless cameras, you can take an XLR signal, even though the camera doesn't have an XLR input, and then plug it into your camera. The sound quality from this was really good. I used to use an external sound recorder, whereas now for the last couple of years I've only used this. I'll add a couple of photos here of short films and stuff that I've done where you can see me using this on my rig. And it's really good. I've had no problems with it. I absolutely love it. It's extremely convenient being able to plug the audio straight into the camera, so I don't have to do any syncing and post-production. 2 years went by and V-Clik, after the video, said thank you very much, we really appreciate your review, and that was it. And then out of the blue, for no reason at all as far as I'm aware, last month just before I went to Austria, I received an email from one of the representatives for V-Clik to say, we've got a new model of the DXA Micro Pro, would you like to review it? And of course I was like, well, absolutely, send me it, I'd love to talk about it and do another video. So now they have a new product called the DXA Micro Pro Plus, which is very similar to the old one, but it's got a few really cool upgrades. And really awesomely, they also agreed to send me a couple of other things as well. So they also have a mounting plate. This is designed to attach the audio adapter onto the rest of your rig. So if you have a rig with rails like I do, for example, I have my camera and my monitor and the DXA Micro Pro. So I have lots of things going on. It's really handy to be able to mount that onto some sort of rail system so you can use a follow focus and things as well. So that's what this is. And they also sent me their V-Clik quick release plate, which is really cool. It's like a small little quick release plate, and the two parts have like a V notch in them that click together. And it's just really small and it seems to be really sturdy. So I think we'll start with the main event, the DXA Micro Pro Plus. Inside the box, you get very similar stuff to last time. It's packaged a lot nicer than the original one. So the original one came in this sort of thing, as I'll show now from the previous video. Now it comes in a proper box, which is really nice, and it's presented a lot more nicely. Again, it's got a really solid weight to it, just like the last one. And then you get a couple of wires and a micro USB charging cable, and then also a little Allen key to adjust it with. So straight out the box, you can see they're very similar. This is the new DXA Micro Pro Plus, and this is the original. So the main benefit of the new one is it has a built-in battery which lasts up to 10 hours, which is really cool. This one runs on 9-volt batteries, which is still not a massive pain, but I don't really use 9-volt batteries for anything else. So I've always had to have a supply of rechargeable 9-volt batteries in my bag. And because this is the only thing in my camera rig that uses 9-volt batteries, it's just one extra thing I have to carry around. Being able to just charge this with a micro USB cable is really cool, and the battery will last a long time. It can also be powered externally, so I believe if you have like a USB charging bank for your phone, you can plug this into that and run it on that instead of using the built-in battery. So that's really cool. Essentially, you should never run out of battery in that situation. And then the other new feature is they've added a cheese plate on top. So there's a load of mounting holes here for the different thread lengths that are commonly used with camera accessories. And then it also has a cold shoe slot here. So you can use this to add things like flashes or whatever you want to add. I could actually use the cold shoe mount from the old one and attach it on top. So imagine having this as a rig. So I'm really excited to use this for the first time. I didn't have any problems with the old one, so the fact that this has got some upgrades is just going to make it even nicer to use. Okay, now this is a really quick test of the audio quality. So to record this, I'm using a Rode NTG1, which is a pretty affordable shotgun microphone that's got a really good reputation and is very high quality. So that's going to be doing a lot to improve the sound quality, so there's going to be much more bass in this than the lapel mic I was using previously. But overall, one of the massive advantages of using the DXA Micro Pro or the Micro Pro Plus is that you can boost the mic signal before it goes into the camera. So on the camera's internal gain, you can turn it right down. I've got mine from 31, which it was on before, to about 2. So this means that it boosts the signal going into the camera, so you can lower the camera's gain, which reduces an enormous amount of the hiss. One of the other things I forgot to mention is that you can record to the 2 channels in stereo independently. That's not using an XLR input like this shotgun mic, that's using a 3.5mm input jack like on my lapel mic. So you can take 2 of those and plug them into the left and the right channels on the DXA Micro Pro Plus, and this gives you individual control over the volume of the channels. So then you output that signal into the camera, and then you have independent control in post over the volumes of each channel because they're in stereo. That's really useful, and it's not something you can do into the camera, so there's adapters also adding functionality to your camera, which is really useful. So we'll quickly move on to the rail mount. This is called the BRM2, and it says it's a base plate accessory for the DXA Micro Pro Plus. On the back it said the specifications are low profile base plate, it has a pair of 15mm rail rods, 3 inches, and it's for handheld or tripod use. Essentially it's just a way of attaching the DXA Micro Pro to more stuff. So essentially you take the cold shoe mount off the bottom of the adapter, and then you can replace it with the rail system, which goes on like this. So it attaches onto the rail system, which is really cool, and then you can mount a load of stuff onto the bottom of it, so like the tripod would go in here, and then you can stick some extra things on top of the rails and then put your camera on here. I think personally in my rig I'm going to keep how I was doing it originally, which is using the cold shoe to mount it onto the side of my camera cage. But this is a really cool added extra, and it's not expensive, this base plate, so if you want to build your rig up a little bit, this is a really good option. And then finally there's the V-Clik quick release plate. It comes with a couple of little thread screws, which I guess are spare ones. Then the actual quick release plate itself is really small, which is really awesome. So we have a couple of screws on the bottom, which I guess are for attaching it to tripods and things. There's this silver button on the side which releases the top plate, and if you press it down they just come apart like that. Really, really easy. There's two V-shaped pieces that slot together, and then you have to press the button down and it slots back in, and it's a really, really sturdy quick release plate. I've had some cheap ones in the past, and even when the plate's mounted it kind of rocks around and isn't very secure. This is super solid, like it's not moving at all, and it takes quite a lot of effort to sort of pull it out and put it back in, but not too much, just the right amount. So I think I'm going to start using all of these on my camera rig from now on. I've been using the original Micro Pro for all of my audio stuff going into my camera for the last couple of years. I've used it on short films, I've used it for professional corporate shoots when I've been doing videos for companies, and it's been really, really handy. I'd like to say thank you very much to V-Clik for sending me all of this stuff to review. It's very, very kind of you guys, and I really appreciate it. I'll leave some links in the description to where you can find all of these products on the V-Clik website if you're interested in buying them. The DXA Micro Pro Plus currently retails for $229. If you're interested in purchasing the original one, it's now $149, so it's gone down a bit since when I first reviewed it. The V-Clik quick release plate is currently retailing for $69, and the BRM2 rail system is currently retailing for $89. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.